Welcome to the Legion's Lair.
I am Brad Jones, brother of Bjorngard.
And I am Mike Casper, Amir Caspar, and the mighty Caspar from the Armies of Ashmore that was created by this man. Hold on. This man right here, Matt Rodriguez, baby.
And my name is Matt Rod. I am the heroic lover, and I am so thankful to be here with you guys. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge fan of you guys individually. I'm a fan of you guys together, and I'm a fan of this show. And yeah, I think we're going to get down and dirty.
Now, admit it, Matt Rod. Admit it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You think I'm sexy, don't you?
Well,
Sexy, yeah. No,
That was the first thing that attracted you to me, correct?
you know, I would say the first time I met you, I want to say a few years back at PowerCon, our mutual friend, who seems to be a mutual friend of everyone, our buddy Travis, introduced, and there was this quiet confidence about you that did not go unnoticed. I definitely picked up on that. So
Nice. Well, thank
and in the same vein, the first time I met Brad, there was this boisterous confidence that I met about him, which I love equally.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
We bring the energy, the natural, raw energy is what we bring. No frills, guys. No frills, you know.
None of this fancy stuff.
Yeah, there you go to Tops, and there would just be like white and black cans that would say "no frills," and you'd be like, "Yeah, I'm getting that, baby. That's us, man. That's it."
Well,
Right here.
I got to tell you, buddy, I only collect legions. Okay. That's what I've decided to do. But there's only one other line.
Sean
I
Connery
collect.
Legions?
Yeah.
That is Armies of freaking Ashmore. And thank you for bringing that toy line to this community, because people, when you hold these figures in your hand, you are going to fall in love with the Heroic Lovers toy line.
You know,
Trust me.
and yeah, that was the biggest hurdle to get over, was to actually have that physical finished product, because you can take concepts and you can take ideas and you can take sketches and even the paint masters, and they can look all great, but eventually it needs to be a final product. And the final product is what we wanted to make sure was perfect. And that's why since day one, with the comic book, with CJ and Andrew and design work and my ideas, and then saying, hey, let's just cross our fingers and go right to the best. Let's see if the Horsemen, if we can get the Horsemen involved with this, as far as from a production side of the sculpting and the 3D rendering and all that stuff. So it's been, since day one, we have tried to keep like kind of this tight knit group of people involved behind the scenes, and it definitely has paid off as far as that goes. So Purple Gang.
Yeah. Well, we got Brad. You want to give us who's in the chat?
I will, you son of a biscuit.
Oh, as
I
Arnold.
will do it. I will do it.
Yes.
Well, first starting us out is Brian Carr. That was Brian Carr. Then we have art by
Brian
Ackerman,
Curtis
Chris Johnson, Stoltzilla.
Stolt.
Stolt. Van Johnson. Oh, and this is a good guy. We're going to see this guy soon. Well, I'm going to see this guy soon. J Mac. That's what's up. We have Dave Orkin. Hey. Obviously, Jordan Wholesome. Wallach. And Joey Soquay. Echoraria. He says, hello, everybody. We got Curb. Curb's in the house. What is going on, Curb? Obviously, we have the lovely Lauren.
Oh, Lauren.
Who? Look at me. Who? What's up, fellas?
Collectible fun.
So, hey, Brad, is that, I noticed I noticed the Harley Davidson hoodie that was in the background of your screen there a little bit ago. Are you a writer, or is she a writer, or a family?
Her dad was a writer. I guess he has a bike. He did get it. He got into a accident. So he doesn't ride much since, but he was big Harley rider. I think he actually has his Kawasaki still, but he sold his Harley.
Cool.
D Blake makes. But yeah. Are you a writer? Is that why you asked? Are you you hip to the bikes, or?
I wish. My
I know.
Our mechanic where I work is, and but I have kind of this weird love affair with motorcycles where I don't have one, but I'm pretty sure in most of the multiverses where I exist, I do. So
now, see, I don't have motorcycles, but I do have 2 muscle cars. So I
nice.
do like fast things.
Yeah.
I am a gearhead at heart.
Nice.
But sometimes that's a little something people don't know about me. You think I'm a nerd, but I can change your oil, change your heads, swap out your motors. I can do that stuff. Internal combustion.
You just said change your heads, and everyone in the chat room was just picturing you popping off a Legion head.
See, back in the day, I was the king of pop and swapping. Back in the day, I was taking all heads, and people are like, "What?" Cylinder heads. That's right, cylinder heads, which are much more expensive. So I like the Legions way better. Our good friend Chris Durand, you son of a biscuit, you. Dope.
And I apologize just really quick to the people in the chat room. I got home late. I'm eating peanut butter and chocolate milk as my dinner just to kind of hold me over, because I know we're going to get deep into conversation, and I didn't want to miss the 7 o'clock start time. So,
Matt Stein, what is up, my dude? Hope you are feeling good and recovering. Definitely.
Yeah, Matt. Yeah, definitely, man. Thinking about you, buddy.
Yeah.
Although it did seem like you mentioned a few years back, I think, did you see he showed some pictures of a surgery?
Those were gnarly.
Yeah.
I was going to comment because he showed a picture of him back in the day and then now, and he's like, I got fatter. And I was like, I don't think he got fatter. I was like, but he did used to look like Mr. Beast, didn't he? I was like, look, he looks like Mr. Beast. I was like, he just has a beard now. He's a cooler Mr. Beast.
I think all of us kind of have that natural tendency to be like, we watch the progression in the mirror every day, so we don't see it. So then when we take ourselves now next to a picture from like 10 years ago, then there's that like disconnect where you didn't see the gradual change.
That's like at the roast they had a couple years ago at the Legions Con, where they were roasting everybody, and they said, was it Old Man Kyle said I looked like a Scooby-Doo villain, and it's funny because the other day I'm watching Scooby-Doo, it just happened to just pop on, and I'm like, oh my god, like, what the hell? It just happened to be a villain that had glasses, and
your face is definitely under one of those masks.
Oh yeah, I was like, damn it, dude. I was like, where did he even come up with this? I was like, dude, these guys are witty. But yeah, definitely. Thank you everyone for tuning in and joining us. We definitely have the lovely Matt Rod. Matt, I know you gave us some compliments. Let's give you a couple. Dude, you rock. We definitely appreciate seeing you at cons. We were kicking it at PowerCon there. So we definitely liked it there. We're loving you at freaking Legions Con, and I mean, obviously we're getting close to maybe getting figures in our hand, and I'm sure we're going to talk about that. Yeah. But I think it's so cool to think about in the future, like this coming Legions Con, you will probably have product on your table.
Well, speaking of, if we remember too, that pretty sweet restaurant venue at Mesquite Con, which we have coming up soon as well. I think that was one of one of our meetings as well, right? Didn't we kind of chill at one of those?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about that meetup. That meetup was kick ass. That was
And
actually
that was, and that was one of the random meetups that like wasn't planned, but then all of a sudden there ended up being like five tables of people and just kind of hanging out. And then what was it? Before we knew it, we turned around and like the waiter was like, "You don't got a bill," and we're like, "What?" We're like, everyone's asking for the bills, and they're like, "No, that guy, some other guy paid for it already." And it was just that was one of those times that just kind of blew us away.
Yeah, talking about when we were next door at the
hockey arena.
Hockey arena. And because everyone's leaving, and we had said bye to Jim. We're like, "Hey, bye, Jim." He was leaving early. I think Cornboy stayed, if I remember correctly. But yeah, we're trying to get our bill, and they're like, that lady's like, "Oh, that guy that walked out already paid." And we're like, "What the?" Like, that was totally unexpected. And dude, I remember that smash burger. It was great.
Yeah,
great smash burger. Yeah, I was about to say I sat right next to you. That was my first interaction with you. But obviously I knew Mike had been hyping the lineup, so I would say I was a fan. But to actually see them in hand is, I know a lot of people, if they did get a chance to come to your table and see them, they're a bulky figure. I mean, I don't even think this figure does it any justice. It's they're thick.
The width, the shoulder to shoulder too.
Yeah, broad. Very
and then
broad.
Obviously you have the tail as well. It was one of those things where I have my original a buddy within the Four Horsemen community, within the Masters of the Universe community. His name's Tom Tolman. I'm going super far back, 15, 16, 17 years ago. And we paid him. He basically used to make these molds out of this tooling out of Legos, and he sculpted them. And we have these 3 3/4. Do I got one right around here? 3 3/4 was the original size. So the original size was like a Motu 5-inch figure.
Okay.
Because next to everything was going Marvel Universe, G.I. Joe, Animals of the Warrior Kingdom, Jason's line. The original ones were 3.75 inch, so they were little guys. So my dinosaurs next to them were 5.5, so they still looked brooding. And he hand sculpted them that size, made copies, and he said, "Hey, I love doing this work. Can I just make one copy each of my own?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, man." And so he made me copies. So we have those originals. And then everything with Legions and everyone else went to the new kind of 6 to 7 inch action figure scale. And as we were doing this line, we knew that we wanted to keep that difference, that kind of brooding difference where you stand one of ours next to just a regular human. We want him to have to look up at our figure, and we scaled up as well. So
no doubt, they're definitely like I said, they reminded me of the big figures from Seventh Kingdom. Yeah, like the animals, you know what I mean? They gave me that vibe, but way better articulating because of the newer.
Yeah,
I guess
they're definitely hand candy.
Updated stuff.
No.
So.
Definitely. Hey, Matt Rod, right into this shipping. So are the figures on the water yet? Are they still at the factory? Where are we standing with that?
Yeah, so they send me updates as much as I ask them to. But one thing I will say with dealing with just anything like this, I mean, I give so much credit to you. Got your, Jason with Animals, AWOC figures. You've got your Valaverse. You've got your Four Horsemen. You've got these guys that have done this for a few years ahead of me. I give them so much credit for what they have to do, because this is my first rodeo, and I've been taking it in stride. But these little hiccups that thankfully my project manager has been super helpful. But stuff that just comes up where like they'll say, "Oh, there's a strike. It might be a couple weeks," and I'm like, okay, or something along those lines. Early last year or mid last year, we did have a hiccup with like a paint app that I said, hey, we got to make sure that that's painted right, and so that type of thing, that's definitely, and I've shared that stuff on the updates. But with the shipping, I'm just looking at this ship, on a Google map type of thing in the middle of the ocean. And so everything's en route. It's just how many I could literally come online every day and show you a different picture where the thing moves a little bit and, those types of things. It's just, I don't think those updates are necessary. It's just when, and this is a personal level, obviously we get personal on your show, is like, I just hate it when people think that I'm like keeping valuable information from them, And so when I get those types of comments or those types of questions, it's not irritating. It's just more disappointing because I've tried to like just be as kind of cut and dry since the day one. Hey, we did this all of the backers. We did this all together. And so I have no reason to like, hey, it's one day closer. I just got an email today that said, hey, it's going to be on the railroad train. They're going to take it from the ship and they're going to put it to the train yard. But certain things in the train yard in California, blah, 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 blah. And they give me this long thing. And there's only so much that I can say or do about it, but it is en route. And my ultimate hope was it was here. And if anybody is at Muskecon and I have it here, that they would have the option to say, hey, we don't want to pay shipping. We're already making the trip to Muskecon. Pick up my figures. I'll check you off the list.
Brad, you can pick mine up, dude.
Yeah.
All right,
so,
Mike, it's going to cost you
to make it easy on people,
Mike.
So that's kind of the main thing that I was, and that definitely is still an option that is still within reason with kind of the dates that they've set.
Cool.
And
Whatever.
the date that Pete has. And so all of that stuff's in motion. It's just there's no real, again, outside of, hey, do you have a loading dock? You guys saw yesterday, I think, or was it this morning? 4 Horsemen, they put that video up, taking the stuff off. I'm watching that video and I'm just like, I got to call a couple friends. Like this is a lot closer than I think. So yeah, they are out of China. We're not dealing with any sort of political tariff-ish kind of new things going on as far as payments and stuff. So they are well on their way, and we're just excited, man. We are excited.
Now I see. Oh, Mike, go ahead.
No, you go, bro.
Well, I was going to say I see something in the comment, and I was actually going to ask.
Yeah.
Now, do you think by the end of March, come Muskegon, you'll have product on your table there at Muskegon, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I made sure that because again, shipping is so many thousands of dollars that I kind of inflated the numbers as far as figure. Like, so all the backers are going to get their figures. I'm going to have stock available in limited quantities, but make sure, because there were a handful of people that did miss as well. So, yeah.
There's other things, there's a lot of, I think there was some other Kickstarters going on as well.
Dude, this is exciting.
But yeah, so to know that people who didn't get product or have product and want more product could come to your table at Muskegon, and that's awesome. Now, somebody asked, where was it, about ZoloCon. Now, I think that's before Muskegon. I don't know if you'll be at that.
I won't be at ZoloCon. I think that show's before us as well. I don't think we'll have any. And the thing is, too, me being new at this, once I have physical product here, I will be able to do this stuff. What's up, Brendan? I will be able to do this stuff. I will be able to have. I won't just have to have my little artist creator table where I'm just kind of like trying to pitch my dreams. I'll be able to have like a booth of product and to show and all that type of stuff. So it's gonna be cool, this transition into that side of things, because that side of it, that transition is going to help fuel this next 1.5 and 2.0 waves and we get this rhythm. So yeah, it looks like Zolo's March 1. that would be cutting it close. That would be cutting it close for sure.
So what
good.
cons are you planning to attend this year?
Well, I was planning on we've got your Mesquite Con. I have my local con in Holland in April. On April 13th, that's Tulip City Comics and Toy Fair. That's a 1-day show.
And that's actually a con you put together, correct?
Yeah, it's a con. It's our 8th year. We don't have very big venues, so like places like Mesquite Con or Columbus and Chicago, they have these huge venues. Ours is an old-fashioned civic center, so it's kind of a
those are the
big gymnasium, 1 day, $5 to get in type show, and it's just something locally for us to do and have fun, and kind of feature a lot of creators and stuff like that. So it's just something that I started 9 years ago, but I think that 1 year of COVID, we kind of put the kibosh on it. So it's technically our 8th year. So
yeah, Matt Stein says
Legion's Con. You're hitting Legion's Con.
Legion's Con for sure. That's a staple. What PowerCon was going to be one, but just the logistics now, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that. And then what else do we got going on? Realistically, if I start moving product on a regular basis and I'm able to do these shows, the shows that I would pick would be Legion's Con, Mesquite Con, Solo Con, and I would love to try out a Toylanta, type of show. I don't know of too many shows out west that I would attend, but again, having products a different story. Where it's, hey, if I'm going to kind of work, that might open the doors to a couple other shows. So
now the whole bringing your vision all together is actually getting to witness and see the product get into fans' hands. How freaking excited are you for that? Because it is coming soon.
Yeah, and I've said since day one, 20 years ago, was that and a lot of people dream, walking into a toy aisle and seeing something I created on the walls for sale. Obviously, times change, visions change, the world changes, so it's not quite that exact model, which that could still happen depending on my different toy lines that will be coming out, different products and properties that I have. But exactly, that's the feeling that it is going to give, is that you guys experience it too. I mean, at Legion's Con, when I'm watching little kids walk by the table and their heads just go, wait a minute, they just want to stop and look at this. Like, that's such an awesome feeling. Because that's what it's all about, is kind of sparking that creative interest. And we have mutual friends that have other shows too as well, and watching them. I mean, we had some friends do reviews of the figures, and even friends that do reviews with their kids, and it's there's definitely a piece of that creativity that I think can be dormant within the toy community a little bit, where people in the past, I'd say 10, maybe 15, even more years, they're getting that creativity out in a lot of ways with video games and with movies and creatively. But I think all of those feelings can also come out in just collecting toys, looking at toys. I mean, I used to buy toys when I was a kid. I didn't even know what it was from. I just saw it, whether at a garage sale or wherever, and the guy looks cool. And it ended up being, from an Image comic book or something random, but I just liked it because it sparked some sort of creative thought process in me. And so that's kind of the roots of a lot of what I do within, Defenders of Eden, Disciple 6, Modern Wonders, Captain Tulip and his friends. We have all these properties that I've created, and it just comes down to kind of pushing the envelope of creativity. I think somebody answered the question, Dino Nuggets.
That's what I was gonna say.
No.
Matt Stein says, so we eat pizza with new Legion's waves. What should we eat with new waves of dinos? And I was gonna say Dino Nuggets, and Kevin Boots hit it right there on the head.
Yep. So the thing is, we'll mark it right now. We'll mark it right now. I'm gonna bring bags of Dino Nuggets for us to eat. So when we're doing the live My Wife show or something, I'm gonna go throw the Dino Nuggets in like a air fryer, and we're gonna eat some Dino Nuggets.
Yeah, dude.
Or air fried Dino Nuggies.
That's
More Nuggies. Yeah.
You gotta have something to eat when you're opening up all these figures.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
Big meetup. This became a Dino meetup, no doubt.
And Curtis, I know Curtis. I will not do that. Curtis is like literally how Curtis infiltrates every show. I will not be infiltrating the Mythic Legions.
I didn't send him a link. I promise.
I will be respectful of what the source material is, and that is Legions.
Now, at the meetup at Muskegon last year, if I remember correctly, it was cheese sticks, cheese balls,
pretzels.
Oh, yeah, that's the one he had. There was like 5 different cheeses and 5 different pretzels, basically.
Or no, it was pretzel sticks, pretzel bites, pretzel nuggets.
Yeah.
Dino pretzels.
Yeah, Dino pretzels.
Yeah,
so I think we could get Dino Nuggets there. I think
that would work. Is Curtis, you're in the chat, or you're coming to Muskegon, right? Are you bringing your wife? We might need to take some dimensions to maybe we can get a nice cape or a nice soft good look for one of the figures and see what we need measurement wise. Could be kind of fun.
Oh yeah. Oh God, Darla would hook that up good. Wow.
She'll be up there.
Hey, Matt Rod, I want to go in to people who have helped you. Talk a little bit about the people who have helped you along the way here. First off, I want to talk about Four Horsemen Studios.
Yeah.
So what was it like to work with the studio throughout this project's process?
Well, it's been really cool because obviously them having the history and knowledge that they have, comes down to, my creativity and kind of them not only working for me as far as, sculpting and that type of thing from the design side, but me taking the designs and drawings that CJ and Andrew did color wise, design wise, sending it over to them, and somebody like Cornboy that would shoot it back and say, hey, we got to have, like, originally, like, and this is where I will always, until I'm blue in the face, I will give credit where credit is due. Like, I understand that it takes a village, and that's what's taken this toy line. But like originally, I didn't know how much extra it would cost for removable helmets and that type of stuff. Cornboy got all the designs on his end, and he emails me back. He's like, they're all going to be removable. They have to be. And so that was something that, he was able to add, that, his influence as far as, his thought process. Hey, this is the route we should go. So I'm thankful for things like that, because he didn't owe me that. He didn't have to tell me, that this would be better for the line. I'm paying Four Horsemen. They're doing this work for me. And that could have been it. But, he, from a creative standpoint and a design standpoint, so there are moments like that. And there are moments on the flip side where I would say, hey, now I'm a toy creator. This shield would look pretty cool if we were to like be able to make it separate. Like, is that a possibility? And then within 2 business days, Cornboy sends me back these designs, the pegs, how everything works. Oh, that'd be awesome. But, so things like that where you're able to kind of have fun with the process. That again, I've been super thankful. Just having them, as little as things like George with his pins. Hey, I need pins made for my Kickstarter. Hey, we got a guy. We got a guy that can help you, help walk beside you in this. And so things like that. And then even with Chris, our project manager, it's just one of those things where I'm going to deliver these figures and I might wake up and this might have all been a dream, because these people know what they're doing. And I'm like along for this ride. It's like, it kind of like, do these guys know I'm just a goofball from Michigan that likes to draw it? Like, I just have hundreds of drawings of sketches, and I go back to, I was at, are you guys familiar with Great Wolf Lodge? There's a bunch of them all over. Yeah. And I remember specifically, like 17 years ago, I have all my sketches. It was Defenders of Eternia. I was doing this fan fiction, He-Man. What happens 100 years after He-Man passes? And I'm like, I've got so much cool stuff. Why do I have to make this fan fiction? Why don't I just make it my own thing? And so I approached a couple guys on He-Man.org, Andrew Kramer and CJ Edwards, and they had a couple of their own figure characters that they made. And I'm like, hey guys, I really think we're a talented enough group that we should just kind of just go for this thing. What would it take to make a comic book? How much do I need to pay you for colors and you for artwork? And I throw you a design and I pay you and you send it back to me twice as good and cool, and so things like that. So I specifically remember the night that that was kind of like, this is going to be the route, and so the Ashmore route of Defenders of Eden was very specific and strategic, because it was like, hey, people might not be interested in new property, but what's the best way to use a buck system to maximize funding as far as just a singular buck? And what's the way to maximize kind of just that, cast that big net out of, hey, we're not interested, because and realistically right now as well, with all the new properties, there's enough barbaric heroes out there, which is awesome and cool. And even now there's a lot of dinosaur-ish, reptilian-ish toy lines out there as well, where we feel like with what we have to offer and what Eden has to offer with Ashmore, we just have this little niche of kind of our own little world. And I'm not trying to take over the toy community and anything like that. I just think that we have a creative spin on this fantasy world, and enough people are like, dang, that's pretty fun, that's pretty cool, and that's what made it work. And so we landed on saying, hey, let's do the dinosaurs, let's do the Saurian warriors of Ashmore and their armies in each one. And so we decided that very early on, and it made the most sense, because again, like I said, at Legions Con and any of these other shows, you're looking at each table has barbarian characters on it, and these kids are walking past, and then they get to my table where there's these giant dinosaurs, and they're just like, whoa, let's slow down and look over here, and so it's definitely it's been fulfilling, because it feels like we made the right choices along these ways, and we're super thankful for all the people along the way that have helped, including the Four Horsemen. So
nice. Now, you had mentioned the artists, CJ and Andrew, specifically CJ Edwards, who does the line art, and Andrew Kramer, who does the coloring. Am I right with that?
Yep.
You had mentioned you met them on He-Man.org. Can you elaborate more on these gentlemen so we can get to know them more?
Yeah, so it's super, super cool. So this is like before we did all this Facebook group stuff and all the social media. These are just the old school forums. So there was He-Man.org, and I'm like high school-ish, just graduating and realizing there's all these other guys that enjoy kind of this creative world of stuff. And so met them on the boards, and there'd be different people that would have these cool create a character contests. If you were in Masters of the Universe, what would your character look like? And everybody had different avatars and different fan fiction characters. And so we just kind of built this community up there, and not we, but they did, and I happened to be part of it. And CJ and Andrew were there, and CJ is an awesome line artist. He's gotten super busy with his normal 9 to 5 job. So this Armies of Ashmore issue, and I've shared some artwork with this newest issue. This Armies of Ashmore specific issue, that's part of the fulfillment, is drawn by another friend who's so that's CJ Edwards. That's CJ Edwards. The newest issue is done by a buddy. His name's Fish Lee, and I tried to find an artist that could kind of emulate as much as possible the spirit that CJ has. So the Armies of Ashmore book is done by Fish, and then the Defenders of Eden 1 through 4, and CJ's doing number 4 right now. Those are done by CJ, and then Andrew there, he handles a lot of the design work for the packaging, color scheme stuff. For instance, he also works for other companies. He's done work in the past for Valaverse for their box art and their comic books, and I know some Premium DNA stuff as well. He's worked for those companies, so he's definitely a very professional. He's from South Africa, a very professional guy, and he's been with us since day one. So, and then CJ is another one that, like, I would send him a picture, and he would just say, "Have you ever thought about this?" And he would just unlock this like extra little something where, like, you're making spaghetti and this guy just knows exactly what other spice that you would have never added, and that's what it does, and it's just like that secret sauce. And so CJ, I'm super thankful for him, because I think a lot of most of my ideas are incredible, but with him behind them, I know other people will also think that, because he added that secret sauce.
Nice. Matt Rod, how important has your family's support been in this process, throughout this whole process?
Oh, I mean, it's been cool watching it evolve, because obviously, so I have 3 kids, and I mean, my youngest is 15 now, and this has been going on for over 15 years. So going from them playing with my toys in the basement to them getting home from soccer and just looking in the basement and shaking their head in the "my dad's a nerd" way and then walking away. But as far as support goes, they know what brings me joy, and they definitely understand that everyone's different and everyone finds joy differently. So thankfully I've taught them, and they know themselves, they've taught themselves that, like, you don't take someone's joy from them. Like, you don't, like you're into motorcycles, you're into big cars, you're into this, you're into that, you're into golf, you're into boats. It doesn't matter. Like, if somebody finds joy in something, for the most part, you do your best to, like, let them be joyful in it. So they know that my joy isn't really collecting. My joy is creating. So, and creating isn't even limited to the world that I'm in with comics and toys. It's like, oh, Mike, you have an idea for a nonprofit you want to come up with, or blah 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 blah, and you're telling me about this. I'm there. I'm feeding you. Hey, have you thought about this? Oh, you got a name for it. Oh, I could design a rough logo for you, or whatever. Anything. So that's the visionary side of it that, like, resides deeply in me, is build vision into other people when they're being creative. So they support me. My wife's, like, doing the toy. She hasn't in a while, because we're at a different place in our lives right now, but she found so much joy in doing the toy reviews, going toy hunting for me, because I'm stuck working 60 hours a week, at my normal job. And so she'd be texting me pictures of these toys. I'm finding these toys. Do you need this one? That type of stuff. And she's learning all about that stuff. So it's been really cool watching them kind of support me in the way my kids realistically watching my kids support me in a way that almost feels like I'm the kid and they're the adult. Like, so it's pretty cool.
Nice. I think it's time, Bradley, that we review the figures that are about to get in our hands. If you can pull up the pictures let's go through this product. And Matt Rod, if you can give your thoughts on each piece of product, we would appreciate it.
Yeah.
The first figure, can you pull that up? General Siros, which is
I was going to pull it up from the Armies of Ashmore website, but I actually think it's bigger on the Kickstarter.
Okay.
Yeah. Either way is good. Yeah, I think they might even be clickable on there. So this is CJ's baby. This character is 100% from the mind of CJ Edwards. He knocked this out of the park. We needed a leader for the armies, and he sent me this sketch of this worn general with his eye missing and part of his plate kind of gnashed out, and then the tip of his tail's cut off. And so CJ, right when I'm telling him to sketch something, he's not just sketching; he's sketching a story. So obviously, in issue 1, it's revealed kind of how he came about with these injuries. But General Siros is definitely a fighter and a leader. So.
Now, he is a tribute figure to who, Matt Rod?
Yeah, the tribute name that I threw in there, if in the bio we have in there, we throw in a little bit of there's the initial CB, and obviously we both know who that is, Corn Boy of the Four Horsemen Studios. It was kind of a way for me to say thank you to him within the world of Eden. And there was only ever one character, and it was Siros's mother was the only one that ever called him that, which is kind of a cool thing that we put in there that I thought was a nice little nod to our buddy. And again, Corn Boy, I mean, how many years the Four Horsemen have been together and doing this, and Corn Boy kind of being part of a team within the toy community that is like just trailblazers in every single way. I mean, look what they're freaking this dragon. Like, it's like, they got these points of literally being trailblazers within the toy community over the past 25 years. It's like that was my little kind of fun nod to say thank you to him. So
nice. Next one, Brad. Who do we have underneath?
Oh, we got
Vaspo.
Yeah.
Zappa.
Yeah, so we have our buddy Vasapolo of the Four Horsemen Studios, and so quick shout out to my buddy who will never watch this because he doesn't watch anything, Stephen Busciotti. Originally,
what did you just say? Did you just say? What did you just mention, Stephen, the so-called Alpha Busciotti? On the Legion's lair?
Am I not
kidding me?
I didn't know the rules.
Listen. Okay, listen. If you're listening to this, Steven, you little beta shoddy, you are a fake alpha.
Yeah.
You are so fake it ain't funny. You're looking at the two alphas right here. The Legion's lair is the alpha, baby. And listen, buddy. I don't want to hear your name again. Oh my God! Listen, when Caspar comes out, when Broder or Bjorgar comes out, when Hymir Caspar comes out, buddy, my figures are gonna take your little Mercurian red little punk figure, and we're going to smash your face in between Broder's metal titty pauldrons, and he's gonna motorboat your helmet right off, motorboat into oblivion, baby.
Yes, Steven, you will get your big fat Twinkie fingers cut off. Even Jim said you had Twinkie fingers.
Mike,
I'm coming for you, baby. Legion's Con 2025. Caspar's coming for Lord Busciotti, baby. Sorry.
Have you used the term beta shoddy before? Because
Corn Boy came up with it.
That is freaking incredible. Beta shoddy. Wow.
And actually, Corn Boy came up with it in the chat, I think, 2 weeks ago.
That's incredible. I the fact that it works so well Makes a lot of makes a lot of sense. No, Steven he recommended, because originally they were just army builder figures, so I didn't have names for any of them outside of the general. And so they were just, hey, these army builders. And Steven just said, hey, people like characters. They're going to army build whether you give them armies to build or not. They'll buy, if they like a figure, if they like Beachhead, they'll buy 5 figures of Beachhead and just give them different names. That's how collectors are. But he just recommended, hey, come stir up some emotion, come up with some ideas, some concepts for names and characters. And so once I started doing that, that's when the actual characters behind them came out. And that was super helpful for the comic book that we wrote. Vasapo is, we got Joe Vasapolo, who's a part of the Four Horsemen Studios. And so I actually took out a piece of his last name that you normally wouldn't stop with. You wouldn't really stop because you got the polo on the end there. So that name was kind of a tribute to him and part of the Four Horsemen Studios. So you have this Royal Guard character who, in the Armies of Ashmore, he guards the palace, and these characters and this Saurian warrior, they're palace guards. They're kind of your, they're not your frontline Rhydors or your Kuzos that are going out into the army that are getting bloody. These guys are kind of they're more in kingdom guards. They're the royal guards than anything. So adding that dynamic to the comic book was really cool, because then we have this character that normally doesn't go out and do these kind of missions, that's kind of pulled along into this story. So cool. I love how you incorporate the Stegosaurus's plates throughout the armor. Yeah, and we actually have it so that you can plug in those plates and glue them in if you want to glue them in, or you can remove them and have them without them in. And they're super easy. It's kind of like a little puzzle piece. You can see which plate goes in which spot very, very easily. So we tried to make that easy. But the thing was, they were like, yeah, we can glue these plates in, but this box is going to be an inch deeper than all the other boxes. And so that was kind of a point that we're like, you know what, let's just put them in baggies and let them get plugged in. So nice.
Dusty, if Steven wants to wrestle you, dude, I would pay money to see that.
Steven was going off on a show the other night where he Dusty drew a picture, and Steven looked at the picture and said, I want to wrestle this guy. And we had no idea what he meant, but I think MuskeeCon in a month or so is gonna have a wrestling match. So
oh yeah.
I'm thinking Steve needs to start working out a little bit, because I think come Legion's Con at 3 a.m. or whatever time it was, he's gonna have quite a few Legionnaires to do push-ups off his back, because I think I'm ready to jump on his back. I mean, I thought
it was pretty soft. He picked the smallest guy too.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I go, let's see him pull me or Greg. Let's put 220 pounds on his back. Let's see what happens.
Oh man,
I don't know what Greg weighs. He maybe more than me. I don't know. He's tall.
He's got at least 3 pounds of hair.
Yeah,
I would say more. Millwick. Tell us about Millwick.
All right, Millwick. So we both know we have good friends. They're called the Swedes in the Legion's world. But Emil Wickman is a great friend over these past couple of years, and I love him to death. And a wonderful designer, wonderful creator. Just wrote a storybook, drew a storybook for another mutual friend. But he just Millwick has this calm presence about him, and so Emil kind of fit with that character. So he's obviously one of the wiser characters, and he's actually not the eldest. So he's in the new comic book that you guys will see when we deliver these figures. He's one of the students, so it's cool sitting him there and a couple of the other students. You'll notice who the other students are too as well. And in the comic book, he's just he's kind of growing. So he's going through his studies So it's sort of in a weird way, kind of like Hogwarts for dinosaurs. So that's kind of the easiest way to put it.
Love it.
Nice. Yeah, and Emil, what a good dude. Oh, and what a talented dude. Oh my god.
Super talented. And this guy Milwick, though, the cool thing to the creative side of it too is that so there's two things creatively that happened. We had this blast, and Corn Boy's ingenuity, we figured out a way to make the blast. I don't have a picture of it on here, but had the blast hang off of the staff, hang off of the stone, so that it looks like it's going straight out from the staff. And so he engineered that so that it looks really cool in that way. So it's going to hang off that stone. And then I came up with, I'm like, well, you got this big blast on the end. And it just seemed like this big waste of space creatively. And so I'm thinking like, well, what if we made a fist in there so that it could look like it's blasting a fit, or it looks like it's a blast. You can take the top effect off. So now it looks like it's blasting a fist. And then you could take that effect that you took off and you could put it on his hand. And so now you can have him look like he's punching and have this blast effect coming off of his hand. So that's one thing that, again, there's these little like toy related creative choices that we were able to make that kind of like just add that layer of playability and posability for the figures. So
nice. Sweet. And you can use that blast effect, that hand blast effect for all the characters.
For any close, because they all come with 3 sets of hands. So
gotcha.
Rydor
is the everyman. Rydor is the friend, and Tomas. I named him after Tomas, and again, Rydor is like, he's such a cool looking figure. I mean, that color scheme right there, it's just so cool, and the mask looks awesome. And then when you take off the mask, the details on the eyes that they were able to get at the factory, it's incredible. And so he's kind of that infantry, every army needs an infantry, and he's kind of one of those guys. So he's an awesome figure, and the colors turned out incredible on him.
Yeah. And once again, another fantastic member of the community.
Yes, 100%.
Wow. Yeah, it's beautiful figure. And I got to tell you, Matt Rod, I'm partial to Rydor. I think other than his color scheme, he looks pretty badass.
He looks pretty cool. I will admit you that.
Yeah. And now I think we're coming up on the next one, which is a lot of people's favorite, Kuzo. Yeah. Everybody seems to absolutely go bonkers for the Ankylosaurus.
Yeah. And the thing is too, seeing numbers wise, like orders coming in and stuff like that, being able to see all the back end. Like I knew he was going to be kind of a favorite just because I like him in that way, but I like them all in different ways. But he definitely was the hottest seller, to be honest. Overall, in all numbers, he was our number one figure. So
really,
yep. And then the ability with the mask, having the mask down, you can have the mask up, you can have the mask off, then you can have the helmet on, and you can have the helmet off. So, and then once you start mixing up those options with the ability to take off the armor or the shoulder pads, there's a lot of cool different variables and different looks you can get with him. And then having the ability to change out his tail end with the mace that he comes with is kind of a cool addition as well.
Well, and putting the shield, which acts as his shell, and the Tylosaurus shell on his back is just genius. Yeah.
It turned out really cool, and it was a cool way. Like in the comic book, it kind of looks like it's attached because he doesn't take it off very often. But obviously, with the figure having him be able to kind of do that dual shield, mask down, dual shield. He's just trucking people, and then you got Rydor right behind him, like they're just going out on the front lines. So It's incredible. And like, I don't even have one right here because I sent them all off. They were getting reviewed and they were sending them back. But like these figures in hand, again, like you said, it's hard to describe. Like it's a figure. It's not that kids can't play with it, but it's a hefty figure. So jokingly we're like, reinforce your shelves, but realistically, if I was to put a shelf up and I didn't have anchors in, and if I just drilled into the drywall, these things would fall over. Like they're heavy figures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
What's the next piece of product there? Is it a weapons pack? Are we following the Kickstarter, Brad?
I was going back. I've been using Big Bad Kickstarter, whatever.
You know what? Why don't you hop onto the Kickstarter? Let's just show those other two figures that the Kickstarter backers were able to get.
Oh,
yeah. Right there.
Spectral Millwick.
We got Spectral Millwick, which is obviously part of the comic book. Translucent figure. We worked the storyline to kind of feature that as well, so that's kind of a cool thing that I won't give away. But a lot of people like the options of a translucent figure, and it was a way that we were able to kind of add these stretch goals and to be frank, make a little bit of extra money so that we could try to build new tooling where this is everything was already going to be tooled on this guy. But it was just another option in a different SKU. So, we got really good feedback on him too. One of the random things, I don't know if you guys have seen it in pictures or if you go on our Facebook friend group or our Instagram, you can see, but like the first version of this they sent to me was like a slime pit green. And I'm like,
I remember that.
How did you look at this picture and then you get that color? Like, but again, that's a factory thing. That's what we deal with these things naturally, and it was just kind of goofy how it came up. And of course, the first three comments are like, I'll take it. Like, I'll do a slime pit version, and so it's kind of fun.
That's nice. Yeah, a lot of people love that translucent. Now, this is glow in the dark too, or no?
Yeah, it's the semi-translucent glow in the dark. Essentially, we matched up the color with that Hagnon. Four Horsemen figures, kind of what we were trying to match it up with as far as from the factory's point of view. So
okay, blue Hagnon, nice.
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Oh, beautiful, nice. And Emil Wickman, awesome.
And then I think Mike, I think you're way down at the bottom.
Well, we gotta.
Yeah, we go right to the bottom. I want to see who's that other option that Kickstarter got this.
Now
we're able to get. Let's see here. Stretch goals. Okay, we're stretch. Whoa! Yeah, this was a lot of fun and design. You can thank Andrew Kramer for the design of this one because he came up with the scheme, and we're super excited how he turned out. So we can't wait and this is one of those things too with Kickstarter backers. It's like, hey, you're taking a chance on this toy line and this venture. We want to get, some options of stuff that people are never going to see again.
No doubt.
And cool. so this is where it was locked in and we reached this stretch goal. And so now, whether we get to, wave 10 or wave 20, it's going to be like, hey, were you ever able to get a Caspar figure,
So now this is by far the best figure in the line. By far. But
look at that little guy.
The colors on this is just fantastic.
Yeah, it turned out really cool and leaning into that creative side of kind of that colorful, fictional world, fantasy world. It turned out pretty cool. Nate Strong. I didn't know Mike was an MSU fan.
OSU, baby, go Bucks.
Now, I will say this though. You were talking about the eyes of the other figure.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the blue eyes on Caspar are freaking crazy looking.
They turned out fantastic. Yeah, you guys were able to see that one at Legion's Con.
Yes, he was on the table. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's because he's white and the blue just stands out more, but it's very stunning. It's just like he's boom. Like if you look at it, it's something else.
Yeah, it turned out great.
I've got to tell the story here on me finding out about Caspar.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was on shift, a big surprise, and you messaged me and said, "Hey, thanks for your help. I hope you enjoy this." And I messaged you back and I said, "Dude, I'm gonna love this line. Dinosaurs are right up my alley," something like that. I didn't. You meant the tribute figure. I didn't know what you were talking about. And then I had people started messaging me later on in the day. And I went to Defenders of Eden Facebook page and pulled this up. And I was like, oh my God. So when you sent me that message on Messenger, it was probably 3 more hours before I even realized what you actually meant.
Yeah.
That message. It was kind of comical. But I tell you what, I was at the courthouse. I was providing security over there. I went up into the ceremonial courtroom. It wasn't being used. And I just sat there for like 20 minutes, just thrilled as all get out, man. I've got to, I can't thank you enough. Just unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, and to be completely fair though, like, and people don't realize that is that like these tribute names and these characters that we're coming up with, the creativity is sparked out of real life stuff. And like I said about each of these figures and their names, everything's kind of sparked from, hey, I met a person and this is what I drew from their character and drew from meeting them and all those other things. And like, I'm always looking for creativity to be sparked like that. And just like I said before, meeting you and the kind of character you have and who you are as a person. And I mean, as I'm writing this story and coming up with this tribute figure, and then all of a sudden the name and the personality and everything kind of just like fell together in such a natural way that like it just clicked and it worked and it made complete sense. And so that was the cool side of it, is that it's like, it doesn't matter if I've known somebody for 15 years. It doesn't matter if I've known them for 15 minutes. If I feel something out of that from a visionary creative standpoint, I can shoot. I've sold vehicles to people, and as they're leaving, I'm like, I totally am using their name and part of their personality as a character in this other comic book. Like, that's just how creativity works. and so yeah, it's just like I just think that it was a marriage of personality and character that like made sense. And so I think it's awesome, and you definitely deserve it, and it worked out well, and I think I think it's cool. I think it's a cool figure.
So let me ask you this, Matt.
Bill Mancuso.
Yeah, Bill Mancuso.
Yeah, Mancuso from Four Horsemen Studio. He's actually, Joe has it's Joe Mancuso. Bill Mancuso. Why am I saying Joe? Bill Mancuso is he has a lot of different, he's a sculptor there, but he wears a lot of different shoes.
Yep. And he actually was helping paint the paint master of Kuzo when I was visiting their studio one time. I had a couple edits and some issues with the figure, and I like actually brought him in there, and it was pretty cool. He got to fiddle with him. So
that's Dragonblade, aka Dragonblade,
with Caspar and Spectral Millwick.
Yep.
Obviously, these are Kickstarters exclusives.
Yep.
So they're not going to be with the retailers. Will we see these possibly at shows?
Of course. The thing is, I wanted ones of my own. So I might have, I am not denying or claiming, but I don't know.
I think, and I don't know what other people think, but I think seeing these pop up on your table at shows for sale every once in a while would actually give people who did not get into the Kickstarter maybe a chance to get one of these figures, maybe in their collection.
Yeah. There's a balance of that. Highly articulated there. I believe that's Adam actually. Adam Drake. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy.
Yes.
Wonderful guy. Wonderful guy. Looks he has this Orlando Bloomish quality about his face.
Yeah.
Adam's great.
Great guy. So Adam, no, you cannot add this to the backer kit. Adam, quick shout out to him though. There are some back end stuff with business related numbers and the way backer kits and Kickstarter and taking orders and how that all works. Some of us are completely uneducated in those worlds, where I can talk to you about this goofy stuff till I'm blue in the face. Adam, you can talk to him about numbers and orders and backer kits and computer and back end and all of this stuff, and he speaks it like it's a second language. And I am publicly saying thank you to Adam, because he was supposed to get a figure in the mail 4 weeks ago, and Canada sent it back to me because Canada is not accepting, or at the time was not accepting, packages from America. So I still have to mail that back out. I think that was just a little hiccup, and it's back on. But anyways, Adam, you're the man. We'll talk soon. And I am not answering that question.
Okay, you're not answering. Okay. Here's another question then. Okay, yeah. We know the head packs.
Yep.
Will we ever see a Caspar head pack? So
you're saying the albino mysterious warrior, but in different heads.
Yes.
I think that for a 1.5.
Ooh, give it to us. Give us this.
It's gonna be one of the stretch goal bonus options for sure. Because the people that took a chance on this last year, I want them to be able to feel like they're rewarded in the way of in the way of, hey, this is a stretch goal that a lot of the new fans aren't even going to be that interested in, but it's going to be special for the people that backed. Hey, Brian, really quick, I'll just answer this question. Is there going to be a Wave 2 Kickstarter? Where 1.5 is coming first because we have minimal tooling needed for Venusia, which is kind of the croc warrior, underwater sea creature. And then we have Skavar, who is kind of our turtle snapper creature. Those have minimal tooling. And so we're going to add those two. So it's going to be kind of a 1.5 wave where we have the options of, so there's a piece, and I don't have it with me. There's a piece on the back of Skavar's shell that is a new tooled piece that Cornboy designed. That's going to allow you to either use it on Skavar or on Kuzo, and it's going to take that shell and it's going to shield, and you're going to be able to fit it a lot tighter, so it's going to look a lot more like an actual shell. So we added that.
Sweet.
And then Wave 2 is going to be the new Slender Buck system, and I know you guys might have seen some designs of that stuff, and we've been working and behind the scenes on that Wave 2 Wave 2. But Wave 1.5, because this tooling is all done, minimal new tooling, process, factory, everything. It should be a lot smoother and a lot quicker turnaround. But that's what's kind of going on right now as far as that goes.
So Matt Rod, with the 1.5 wave, we know Skavar
Yep.
is a tribute figure to our friend Sean Scavarna.
Yeah. We kind of threw that name. I absolutely adore Sean. And we have these kind of this cool tribute mask, and we might be able to do some cool color schemes, fiddling with that snapping turtle figure. Oh yeah, Jeff. Yeah. Hey, talk to somebody because we've got a lot of them.
This is great. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl pee?
Because the P is silent.
The P is silent, baby. What about Venusia? Is that a tribute to anybody that you know?
His name is for sure. Jason, who runs Animals of the Warrior Kingdom, who has been helpful since day one. Another guy who's just kind of a little bit further ahead of me in the process. I've kind of threw a little bit of fiddling with his last name as far as Venusia goes, and I'm thankful for, again, Jason and guys like that like, hey,
nice.
They're not trying to pull up the ladder behind them when they're going down these roads, which is awesome in the creative community, because again, in most industries, that's the number one thing you're kind of taught to do, or your selfish ambition wants to do, is, hey, I figured this out. I'm pulling this ladder up. Good luck, guys. But we've got these freaking guys in this toy community that are like, hey, I'm sending down a second ladder because I made one while I was up here because I want you guys to succeed too. And it's like, what? And then you look at somebody like, the Four Horsemen Studios and this creative cultivating synergy just around the whole community, where, I mean, my biggest thing is, and I said this last year and I'll say it again, is creatively, when all of you backers that got blank figures, this time next year at Legion's Con, all of the shelves, we're going to see all these random dinosaur figures and their own paint schemes and their own worlds, and who they're cross-referenced to different properties and everything in between. That's going to be so cool from a creative standpoint, because, yeah, I get it. Not everybody wants a bright green dinosaur, but they might want the blank one and kind of turn it into whatever they want to turn it into. So
nice. What about Brad, can you pull up the head packs?
Oh, yeah.
So I want everybody watching, if they don't know necessarily about the line, to also see the head packs and how you can change a figure into another color of another figure.
Right. And you know what, speaking on that, for Wave 1.5, we have dabbled in the idea of, hey, well, what would tail packs look like?
Oh, yes.
So these head packs, cool. And so the couple things that we did, which thankful to the factory and kind of twisting some arms and cutting some corners as far as, budget wise goes from my end, is that all of these head packs, we were able to include helmets and masks on all of them. So they're not just the blank heads, and they're all going to have pupils, but so that you actually have the mask in the coordinated color. So if you wanted a Vasapo figure and you could only afford one figure, and you got him in the red figure, but you wanted one of those red head packs, now you can change out the head for each of those figures. So it was kind of a cool additional thing that we could give you a variety without you having to buy all 5 figures.
See, right here is the head packs we need in the Caspar white.
Yes, exactly. It would be that. Right, it would be that head pack with this Caspar white and the green, the kind of that metallic green.
Yes.
As far as the masks and everything go.
Yep. Oh my goodness. This makes the popping and swapping, the playability so much more fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, and it's a cool, and again, can't wait to see what people kind of come up with, because everyone's finding creativity and kind of that fun in their own way. Somebody came up to me and they're like, hey, man, this is like dinosaurs, and it makes me feel like a kid again. And I'm like, I never watched dinosaurs, but Heck yeah. Wherever you think it's fun, like I'm all about it,
Oh,
See, look, you got Purple Gang Gang right here.
That is Purple Gang Gang.
That's the Purple Gang Gang right there.
Now, the weapons packs. There's 2 weapons packs. One being a more traditional weapons pack that goes along with the colors of Armies of Ashmore, right?
Yeah, so exactly. Yep. This secondary, it's called the alternate weapons pack. And so what we did was we basically did the color scheme of each warrior, and we kind of said, okay, let's take their weapons and let's move it one color scheme to the next figure. So Kuzo's weapons look like they match Milwick, and so on and so forth. So each weapon kind of can go down. So now you can kind of pose them with different figures, and they look like they go with that figure. So we added that weapons pack, and then we had the what I call the brute scale weapons pack, which was the color design was done by our friend Eric Miller, who, congratulations, looks like he has some new credits on his resume. So very, very happy for that guy. But he did the brute weapons pack, and the brute weapons pack was basically just more of a realistic, more toned down coppers and metals, and they all kind of look like they could go with any other brute size large figure scale, that we have, possibly collected in other lines.
Yes, it's beautiful. My goodness, he did such a great job on that paintwork.
Yeah, I mean, to be basically him between Len LaGuardia and then Bill with his channel, Legion Slayer. You guys are Legion Slayer. Sorry, Dork Lair, and then Eric Miller. This is all kind of this wonderful creativity that was happening backstage, and where I was kind of involved, but I kind of wasn't. And they're like, "Hey, we're gonna fiddle with this stuff. Do you mind?" And I'm like, "Let's have fun with it." And it turned out so freaking cool that I went to Eric and I'm like, "Hey, do you think we could be able to offer this?" Like, I just think it's such a wonderful paint job. And Eric was super happy about that. So it's like, if you have these other, and then all of a sudden on Bill's channel, he's got it posed with this big brute figure on his channel with these 2 shields on it, and it's getting all these likes and attracting all these extra people to look at our Kickstarter. And this is stuff that the guys in the community, like you guys and those guys, you guys don't owe that to me or to the Armies of Ashmore or the Defenders of Eden to do these things, and everybody just kind of wants to pick each other up, and it's just such a cool thing, and it's been awesome kind of being at the center of this wild ride. So I'm super thankful for that guy too, for sure.
Nice. Yeah. And when you mentioned Eric did something else for his resume, what Matt is referring to is the new Cosmic Head Packs. 4 of those, the one he didn't have a hand in was the female heads, but the other 4 sets Eric painted up for Four Horsemen Studios, and those will be going on sale here in a couple days. I think this Friday. So Eric, man, great job. The brute weapons packs, the head packs for Legions, Cosmic Legions, all look wonderful. And I've often said that Eric is one of the best painters within the Legions community. So hats off to you, my friend. Are you ready, Matt? This is the time of the show where now Brad sent you something in the mail, and I hope you put them on. They were flame retardant undies, and I think he sent you the thong version, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I figured he's from Michigan and he's close to Travis, so he would want that hot tub thong action. So I sent him those ones. So the taint is going to be covered, but those ass cheeks are about to get lit up, bro. Yeah.
Because we're all on the hot seat, baby.
But wait a minute. Before we go into the hot seat, I just saw something on Kickstarter, and I think we just need to go over it real quick. And
You're not gonna share my failed Kickstarter before this, are you?
No, I'm gonna share this right here.
Okay, good.
It's actually really cool to see this because when we were buying these figures, I mean, where's my? We were right here, and it's really cool to think that we are like about to be
100%, 100%. Yep,
really in this stretch right here. I think it's so awesome to see this because this is such a long road to get to this point. It really is.
Well, mini figures made there. That's 2004. Like it's been incredible, man. And halfway along the way there, we picked up over 500 people, you know, that are like, hey, let's do this, and that's the freaking awesome part about it, you know.
No doubt. Yes, it is a cool graphic to know that was up there. I just went past it. And I'm thinking, man, you are about to complete this. Like,
So to show you the graphic, that the creation of Eden there, that tower is the Tower of Space. That's the southern tower where the goddess Natura resides, and her guardian, his name is Bana, and you guys might know Bana's the fan fiction made character of our good friend Nate Barch, who is one of the guys that I met on the org all those years ago, and then on the other side we have the Tower of Time up at the northern point of Eden. So that's part of the overarching story with Eden and all the characters and stuff. So we have the northern Tower of Time and the southern Tower of Space, and then we kind of battle for the power of Eden. So
I don't know if you can see this, but dude, Bana is a kick-ass character, dude. Like,
he's incredible character, cool guy. And then we have the goddess Natura there. CJ designed her. She's super cool. Very, very natural character made of vines and twigs and it's incredible, cool stuff. So, and again, CJ with his design skills on the goddess, and then Nate with his concept with Bana. It's a lot of cool stuff.
Definitely. All right, so back to the hot seat time. It's time. It's in.
Yeah. Where's the flames, Bradley?
I didn't even bring a water, but I can't even cool us down. So it's going to be blazing. Just blaze. Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right.
For Sean Connery, how's your back? For Sean Connery, yeah.
So, I told you, Matt,
Yep,
that I wasn't going to have you involved in a couple of these questions, but guess what?
let's go.
Baby, you are involved. Now,
Here.
when we ask these questions, have it be known that all three of us, the disclaimer, all three of us know that every figure in the Armies of Ashmore line is freaking amazing.
Okay.
But
True.
we've got to choose. That's why it's called the hot seat, baby. Now, I want to know all three of ours top 3 Armies of Ashmore figures and why. Bam! Who wants to go first? Matt Rod, do it, baby. Yeah, dude, hot seats.
That's hard as hell.
Dude, it's harder than
Not even that many figures, and it's hard.
It's super hard. I just got to go straight in order. I got Kuzo, I've got Rydor, and I've got Milwick.
Yeah. Now, what is there a reason why those ones just stand out?
Basically, kind of, you got Kuzo was my favorite dinosaur. Rydor there's just something pure about the design and coloring and everything. And then Milwick, because adding that layer of magic to dinosaurs is just kind of a cool concept. So
The mage.
that's kind of a boom, boom, boom. Yep. Brad, you're up. Go.
Oh man, this is tough. I didn't even oh man, I wasn't ready for that. Okay. I'm gonna go with what dinosaur I loved the most when I seen them, and that was Rhydor. So Rhydor's number one. I'm gonna have to go with General Suros because I don't know.
Battle damage.
Yeah, and for some reason, I'm doing the trifecta, baby. I'm going Caspar. Triceratops, baby.
Yeah, baby.
I did the hat trick.
Nice. Now, why Caspar, my friend?
I actually like the colors on it. I get it. There's a similar bucks, but like the colors is what's doing it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say Spectral Milwick. He's runner up because I don't know why.
Well, I can't wait till you get to that part in the comic book. I'm gonna ask you guys what you think.
Because I just like I like. Damn it. Okay, maybe I should switch it.
Oh, he's doing a switch.
Okay, so I'll go Rhydor, Spectral Milwick, and Caspar.
Ooh, the Kickstarter exclusive.
2 Kickstarter exclusives and Rhydor. So those are my top 3.
Cool. Now, number 3 for me, Kuzo. Okay. It is such a damn cool sculpt, and the colors on him are fantastic. I love that character. Awesome. Not only that, but Mancuso is phenomenal guy. Love that. Love that figure. Number two. And I'm going to throw a monkey wrench into this, okay? Because I'm considering my list the 1.5 wave 2. Venusia. I'm throwing Venusia at number 2. Because that sculpt on the Dino Croc is phenomenal. Love that thing. And number one, Caspar. And enough said, baby. That is a magnificent dino figure that gets the chef's kiss.
I didn't know we were doing 1.5s. I may have said Skirvana.
Skirvana is a good one too. Well, okay.
Because Skirvana's figure actually gives me Ninja Turtle vibes.
Yes,
and I'm a big Ninja Turtle guy, and it just gives me those vibes, and I really dig it. So, but I'm not going to change. I said my 3.
So now, Matt Rod, your 2 least favorite figures in the Armies of Ashmore's initial wave, 1.5 wave. Now, the disclaimer here, once again, is all the figures are fire, but our least favorite. Now, this is where you're going to do a little sweating, my friend.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
What are your 2 least favorite figures from Armies Wave 1 or 1.5 wave?
My 2 least favorite figures of Armies of Ashmore.
And why? Oh, he's sweating. We might need to knight him again to get him.
He's like, wait a minute, these are my friends.
What kind of sick bastard are you?
Yeah, that's why it's the hot seat, baby. You can opt out if you want to.
You can opt out.
But I know Matt Rod. He's not opting out.
Well, we're not saying you have to get rid of them. We're just saying, they might stay in the car if you go to the beach and. Well, oh my God, Uwick says, is Matt drawing?
Now, obviously, your least favorite Armies of Ashmore figure will be whenever you get around to a Beta Shoddy tribute. That obviously is going to be your least favorite.
Hey, so I don't know how many.
Oh my God!
Hold up! I'm gonna make you big.
So we're working on the
Oh, nice.
So we're working on the slender buck system, where there's going to be some crazy.
Matt Rod, has this been shown before?
I don't think so.
Ooh, this is nice.
Ooh.
Wow. And this is the 2.0 wave.
This would be the 2.0 wave, yep, that we've got in the works here.
Wow.
Nate's
Now,
drawing.
was that a diversion from the question, my friend?
I'm sorry, what?
Was that a diversion from the hot? Brad, I've never seen someone on the hot seat use a diversionary tactic to get out of the question.
He's saying he has really cool stuff to show us. So let's soak this.
I'll take it.
And take it.
I will say.
He was drawing.
No, I wanted to show you guys something that's never been seen.
Oh,
okay. We're down.
Since I like you guys.
Oh, hold up.
Knight him. Again.
United. That is right. I will even have little Arnold hold it. Put your head down there. Got him.
Don't mess his hat up.
We're just gonna give you just a little sneak peek since you've got your
Yeah. Arnold was knighting you.
Take my ear off. Just a little bit of a peek at the artwork in the upcoming issue. How about?
Oh, nice.
Hold up.
Very cool.
Oh.
Wow, look at that other Bronto. He's so much bigger than Milwick.
So is this the stuff that are these what you had showed us, but they were black and white at one point?
Nope. That was some other stuff.
Okay.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, this is looking cool.
But yeah, again, this is the artist's name's Fish Lee. Great guy. Great follow on social media as well. Hired him to do this issue since CJ was a touch busy as far as schedule and work and stuff like that goes. But yeah, we're just excited to kind of for everyone to keep immersing themselves in the world of Eden, where we're kind of deep in Ashmore right now. We're going to be playing there for a while, for a couple waves minimum, but we're going to be able to show some really cool stuff that's outside of Ashmore. Eventually, we'd like to get to. It comes down to the value of the buck system and the value of what's out there. And right now, to kind of enter into the barbarian or human buck system game, as far as toys and being able to offer, there's a lot of offerings right now. It's not only just new product, but older action figures, older toy lines, new toy lines. A lot of that stuff's available. And so having our little piece of the pie when it comes to the toy community, we're super excited to, be able to say, hey, I collect Mythic Legions. I also collect Defenders of Eden. I collect G.I. Joe Classified, but I've got this cool Triceratops that I painted in all black, and I have him on my shelf with my G.I. Joe Classified, and I've got this Brontosaur that I've got with my Savage Crucible figures or whatever. I definitely definitely love the fact that we feel like we can be a part of anyone's collection.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Brad, do you want to give us your answer to the question?
To least.
Look at that bald heads. dude.
I don't know. God, that is hard.
Dude, you can do this. This is the first time you're on the hot seat.
Man. So I'm just gonna go with the two opposites that I didn't choose. So that was Vasipo and Kuzo.
Oh my God, Kuzo's one of your least favorites.
I have to choose. So I mean, I had
somebody might try to fight you at MesquiteCon now.
Oh my God, it's
I
going down.
I picked the other three, so I can't pick those now. So yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Now I gotta ask you guys.
Sorry, and I love Bill.
Do you think Emil is sleeping right now in Sweden?
It's probably like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
About to be 3 a.m. So yeah, he's probably sleeping.
Thank God. Okay, here's my answer to the question. Okay, number 2 is Milwick, because I'm not a huge Apatosaurus fan.
Okay.
That's the only reason. And then number 1, Spectral Milwick, because I'm not a translucent guy.
Gotcha.
Now, obviously, I'm collecting the line. I want these on my shelf and all that. And both these figures are going to be phenomenal. But if I had to pick my least favorite, it would be the Apatosaurus out of the collection.
Well, since I picked Spectral Milwick as number 2, I couldn't pick regular Milwick as I don't like, because it's kind of contradictory. So I just so that's why I went with what I went with, and I can't go back now. So you guys just have to hate me, beat me. Okay, I'm gonna get the same guy from Bill Mancuso at Legion's Con next year.
Next question, and this is a good one. Okay, what Dino Warriors would you like to see Matt Rod, or in this case yourself, incorporate into the line that do not already exist? We're going to go with Brad first on this.
Well, you're asking what type of a dinosaur?
Yeah, because we have Stegosauruses, we have Triceratops, we have Apatosauruses, we have Ankylosauruses, we have actually, if you want the name
T-Rexes?
of Venusia, it's a Dinosuchus. A Dinosuchus, which is the crocodile, and then you have a Scavar, which is the giant Mesozoic turtle.
Who's
which
the
I
T-Rex?
want to say is an Archelon. I'm hacking that name up. But
you said we had a T-Rex already. I didn't know we had a T-Rex.
Well,
we don't have a T-Rex yet.
We're not in the action figures. I mean, we've got in the comic books, we definitely have a couple other options as well coming down the line for sure.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. The ones that aren't made yet. What do you want?
Oh, well, definitely T-Rex. I mean, that's what everybody wants. I mean, it's what everybody wants, right? I'm just saying what everybody else wants. That's what they want.
Okay.
Right?
Well, let me ask you this, Brad: T-Rex with big arms or small arms?
I mean, I would like to have Big Arnold arm.
Yes.
You want this?
Yes.
I mean, maybe the scientists were wrong. Maybe those weren't his little arms. Maybe they were big, and who knows? He had these big gorilla arms, like dragging on the ground or something. You know, I mean, who knows? I'm just blowing stuff out my ass. But no, T-Rex is definitely, they're big, they're tall, they're meat eaters. I mean, everybody loves a good meat eater, right?
Yeah.
Well, the carnivore body, on a T-Rex body, you could throw the Spinosaurus head. I mean, Archicanthosaurus, you could throw so many of the cool meat-eating larger dinosaurs on the Allosaurus. It would look phenomenal.
Boy, that came out of nowhere.
Yeah. So for me on the T-Rex, it's one of mine. It's my top one, but it's a must. I remember sitting with you, Matt, at dinner at the hockey arena, and we were talking about the T-Rex. and you said, well, I don't know small arms with like mechanical things hooked onto them to make big arms or big arms. And I think I was like, oh, it's got to be his own arms, big, massive arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I like the idea of having accessories. So if he had little arms and he had some sort of like chest plate that he can put on or chest thing that like wrapped and made him like look like he had big robot arms or blasters or something like that.
Yeah, we actually there's a buddy of mine, his name's Joe Reed, and he it's cool. A lot of people have sent me like their own concepts, which is crazy to think about, but they're like, hey, have you ever thought of this? And he actually designed this like he designed his own figure where it was a T-Rex and he had the small arms, but he had these like ghost-like magical, specter arms that were like this like glow in the dark, these full-size arms. And he sent me that picture, and then it's funny, then he looked at the Kickstarter because I was laughing when he said the picture. And then he saw the Kickstarter and he's like, holy crap, I need an extra spectral Milwick because I'm just going to pull those arms off and I'm going to do my own custom head, and he can make his own figure, and then he would just have spectral arms.
Yeah.
And in that case, you could realistically like make armor that has the two little arms off of the front and then have those spectral arms or mechanical arms or whatever plugged into the arm sockets. It's a cool idea, but yeah, it's cool what people are going to be able to come up with. Blake said Velociraptor too.
That would be fantastic for the 2.0 body.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely fantastic.
That's a great
Brad,
one, Blake.
do you have any other dinos you'd like to see?
Velociraptor, I would pull that one up. Boy, I think everyone's hitting all the good ones.
What about the Lickalotopus?
Oh my goodness! Ah!
For Sean Connery doesn't know what you're talking about.
I out of all of us, I think Sean Connery does know what we're talking about.
Probably does, yeah.
not only his sexy, not only his sexiness, but his age. He was around.
He's like, that is Bambi in the pool.
I forgot he was 007 and he was getting all the Vaiwana
Yeah. Mike just named one of the villains in one of those movies.
Oh shit! I know. For me, I want to with the current buck. I would like to see a Styracosaurus head on it, which is, I mean, you have in your your Styracosaurus is black in your comic book, and he's like an executioner or something. I would love to see a Styracosaurus, but there's so many ceratopsian heads out there, like a Protoceratops. You could go into so many different things.
Oh, for sure. And that's the thing too, is that there's that ability that if we are able to just make a head pack, kind of like how Cosmic's doing a head pack, if we're able to just offer a pack of heads, and then people can just kind of go crazy and do what they want with them. It could be really cool, and again, a cool way that we are able to stretch out the use of this buck, and also give people the different looks and the different characters that they want to portray.
Nice. So that was my list.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nate says, make the Velociraptor a female character so we can all say, clever girl.
Clever girl. Speaking of that, aren't they supposed to drop a trailer for a new Jurassic movie soon?
Yeah, for the Super Bowl. Yeah. With Scarlett Johansson.
Yep. Yeah, I did see that. Nate, great show last night. Boy, there was a lot of people watching. It was a good show.
That is the extent of the hot seat. Did you oh no, hold on. What do you want to see, Mr. Rodriguez? What dinos would you like to see?
Can you tell us that? I mean, are you allowed to say
what he would like to see?
Well, it's one of those client confidentiality clauses. I'm not able to speak on this.
Yeah, I was about to say because he could. I mean,
those pictures alone that I showed you, we're pretty sure that somebody's going to try to make those into action figures as soon as possible already. So
they better not.
They better not.
Okay.
Look at me. Look at the ass kicked.
Get the sword out and have Arnold tell them what will happen to them if they do this.
You think you can mess with my friend Matt Rod? You want to piss him off? You want to steal other people's artworks? I am an advocate for not stealing other people's artworks. You know what I do to people? I stick the sword right down the goddamn spines. But no, for real though, don't you ever, fucking ever do that shit to Matt Rod. I will kill you, Daniel. I'll kill you, Daniel. But you know what? If you do, I dare you. Go ahead, do it, because we're gonna make it better. That's what happens. You're gonna put out some little weak ass shit, some freaking McDonald's toys and shit. Yeah, suck it, McDonald's. Everyone get Happy Meal toys.
The funny thing is, 12 years from now, they're going to be optioning my movie for Defenders of Eden. McDonald's is going to want to do Happy Meal toys, and they're going to come back to frickin' this video of you, and I'm not going to get that contract because of you.
McDonald's. Listen here. Matthew has nothing to do with me. This is always in Blair. He didn't give us any money, no sponsorships, no nothing. We didn't tell us to say this stuff. My son loves your Happy Meals. We ate them all the time. Your little Hot Wheels cars were great. I will say this though: McDonald's has the best Happy Meal toys per se. You go to Wendy's, you go to Burger King, you don't get the same effect. Wendy's tried to take that educational route where they're like, we don't give you toys, we'll give you educational things to read. And kids are like, get him a good toy. If Jeremy DeWitt's still watching, he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like, the box of cereal, it's like, where's the toy in the cereal? And they're like, oh, you can just do this crossword puzzle on the back. And the kid's like, what the hell is this?
Dude, let me just say, okay, so the other day I was saying this. I said, how come they don't put toys in cereal boxes anymore? Remember when you would pour your cereal and then you'd put the box in front of you and you would look at it and you'd be like, oh, look, there's a special spoon at the bottom. And you're like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and go. And you dive down and you get the spoon anyway before you'd eat any cereal because that's what you did. They don't do that shit anymore. So the other day, they had Kellogg's had a sale at my Giant Eagle. You buy 3 boxes. It says that you can go online and get a Kellogg's Tony the Tiger bowl for free. So I'm like, all right, I'm interested at this point because I feel like they don't offer this shit anymore. I want my Tony the Tiger bowl. So they said, take a picture of your receipt, submit it, and you'll get a bowl. So I took a picture of the receipt, I submitted it, and they said that I needed to take a picture of the whole receipt, which I did. So I did this like 7 times, and they kept saying that they wouldn't take my receipt. So eventually I had to call because now I'm like Karen on them and shit. I'm like, dude, I feel like it's a scam. Like they probably don't have any bowls. They're just saying they have bowls, so people do this shit. So eventually I call up and the lady like tried to totally push me off the side until eventually she did, in fact, give me my Kellogg's bowl, which is coming. So see what you have to do now to get your shit. It's not in the bowl.
Jeremy just mentioned getting those sticky octopus guys in cereal boxes. You remember those where you throw them on the wall
and
they'd walk down.
Yeah,
dude, that was great.
Or how about this? I got even one better. collect all the postage. You collect 3 or 4 postages and you send them in with your $5 and you get your little G.I. Joe guy. Bro, come on, bring that shit back. That's what I'm talking about.
I want to see Armies of Ashmore heads in cereal boxes.
Let's do it.
Dude.
For $15 a box, you can get
Dude. I'd buy it.
$20 a box. You can get a tail or a head inside the box, depending.
Yeah.
Dude, I see it now. It'd be like Lucky Charms, but the charms would be Armies of Ashmore figures, silhouettes, or their head.
Yeah,
You'd have red, green, blue.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I
Kellogg.
think that actually the tail packs are a great idea too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely something we have considered, and I think it might be a nice addition to add as a kind of an extra, for the 1.5. So we'll figure it out. But again, at the end of the day, I mean, behind the scenes working on all this stuff, we just want to make sure that the weight of once these are delivered to you guys, once that weight is lifted, I think that it's just going to feel so much invigorating and so much more. I'm not that I don't want to keep doing this, but it's gonna make me feel like, okay, now I can move on, because it's going to be this kind of like, I want to succeed, but I also want to make sure that you guys all get your product before I start asking for another set of, another round of money.
Exactly. Yep.
So basically, exactly how it feels to be Jeremy Gerard in a sense, where
in a smaller, I mean, a piece of it. I mean, I do not envy those. There's elements of this stuff that I mean, you can tell. And when Cornboy says it, he says, trying not to suck. It's like, I mean, I wish I had half of the patience as those guys have that have to do with all this stuff, because it's definitely a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes, and it's a lot of stuff that doesn't mean anything. It's you learning how to pick your battles, that the battle of, hey, you told me this date but now you're saying this date. Do I want to fight over this, or is this a small thing that, like, I get it, it was a small hiccup, and picking the battles of, hey, we got to make sure that color's right. Like, that's a battle I'm fighting. That's a battle I'm fighting, that it pushed us back, three, this is last year, but it pushed back 2.5 weeks, where we were making sure we were getting like the color right on something. Like, I get that stuff, but it's I definitely kudos to these guys that do it, on a daily basis for their job. Because I'm over here trying to balance doing my day job, and then also try to balance a little bit of this. And it's definitely something that takes a little bit of juggling, like getting used to the juggling act of it,
As much as you are in control of a lot of stuff, creating things, there's a lot of stuff you don't have control over. And I know there's times where there's people who are going to complain about those things. And those are the things that, like, you have to be like, you can't please everybody, because it's just one of them things where you have no control over certain stuff. Like you were saying, the stuff on the water, like, you have no times, or you say, hey, I want this done. And they say, hey, we'll get it done at this time. But then things happen. Stuff comes up, or like you said, they send it. And now all of a sudden you're like, hey, I don't like this color. Hey, this isn't snapping properly. Like, this needs to be correct. And those all take delays and times. And the thing is that we appreciate that happening, because nobody wants a toy that doesn't work properly. Nobody wants a belt that doesn't snap properly, or nobody wants the colors. I mean, there's even people bitching about the Armory experience because the color of the one green or the red didn't look like it did when they got it, but it was like, that's just the shiny picture that they took. It was just, the picture looks
well, and even talking about that, like, the one thing that, like, Spectral Milwick and Caspar were the only 2 figures that we didn't have paint masters sent into the factory. So when it came down to the coloring of those 2, it took a touch longer than them just looking at the paint masters and going off of the paint masters. So yeah, there's always going to be a little bit of that where it's like, hey, this didn't look like the picture. Well, the picture does say artist rendering. It does say colors may vary. It does say digital rendering. So it wasn't an actual figure. So, you know, there's a little bit of grace to be had within that, but overall, you know, I can do this experience where I spend the next 6 months having zero contact with anybody, and then all of a sudden, boom, drop the next wave, and then have it all just kind of like unfold. Or it can be this process where people seem to want to be like kind of part of that, part of the build, part of the, hey, behind the scenes. People like that stuff, and I don't mind sharing that stuff either, but understanding that there's pieces of it that it doesn't make sense to say, well, here's my next date where this is where, you know, 2 days closer, and they're going to be put, like, when they're being put on the train, I might do a Kickstarter update saying, hey, they just went from ship to train. You know, obviously I'm going to do the one where I'm standing there like those guys did today, and the truckle bed opens up and you see all the boxes. You know, I can't wait to do that video. But yeah, it's a process, because the creative side of it and the front end of it's wonderful. The back end of it's like any other job. It might as well be, you know, t-shirts or fidget spinners or whatever. It's a box of product from China that we're just waiting on, and we're going to have to fulfill it. And I'm going to have a label maker, and I'm going to have to send out boxes, and you know, all that type of logistic stuff is like, I'm like, let's do this creative side. Let's draw and sketch and talk and, you know, that stuff.
Oh, I feel it, dude.
Well, we are at the 2-hour mark, guys. I think that's a show. Matt, thank you so much.
Thank you, Curtis. I just saw his comment.
Oh yeah, look, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show, brother. You don't have to do this, and we appreciate it, man.
No, and I appreciate you guys. Like I said, from the start, from the jump, it's like, hey, this is just a crazy ride, and being a part of it, and this whole toy community and customizing and the creative community that, you know, we've watched organically build, you know, within the con circuit and within the toy lines. It's been freaking, it's just cool, man. And all the different factions of fan groups and people at Legion's Con, and everyone's got their podcasts and everyone's got their stuff and their customs. And it's like, there's enough fun for all of us to just enjoy and keep making these figures. And I'm thankful for you guys for being fans. So,
and
dude, big fans.
This is a great refresher. Brad, if you can post this on the Cabal or whatever for people, because these figures are going to be dropping soon.
And we are still live pre-orders on Big Bad Toy Store. So anybody that missed the wave or the stuff, it's on there.
Here, look, I'll
bring that up.
I was using it actually, so if anybody wants anything, you can go to Big Bad Toy Store, type in Armies of Ashmore. This will pull up, and pretty much
you have the head packs, you have the 5 figures, you have the 2 weapons packs.
Yep.
I mean, basically, the only thing you can't get is Caspar and Spectral Millway,
right?
Because they're the Kickstarter exclusive.
Those are the Kickstarter.
Yeah, they won't be anywhere else.
You heard it from him. You sly devil, you.
Well, I mean, that's cool. I mean, hey, we'll definitely keep an eye out.
Oh, we'll keep an eye out. Absolutely. Okay.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I love you both, and I am proud of each of you. And
right back at you.
Thanks for thank you for being a friend.
Now, what show was that off of?
Thank you for being a friend. Golden Girls.
Okay, hold on. Before we leave, which Golden Girl are we?
Huh?
Each of you?
Would I be the tall one? Which one was the tall one? Blanche? No, Blanche was the
little one.
The mom. Which oddly enough, I think I read that like Blanche the mom was actually like 2 years younger than the daughter or something like that in real life. Like it's something weird like that. Like they were super close in age in real life.
Oh wow.
I'll be the tall white-haired one. The one with the deep voice.
Well, who is she?
Yeah.
That's
Mike, I honestly, I really feel like you could lean into that Betty White a little bit.
I'll take it,
Well,
man.
Betty White was
Thank
actually pretty good looking back then. I mean,
I think you could lean. I think you could lean into the Betty White. I think I'm landing on was it Dolores? I don't know if that was her name or she had the shorter hair. She kind of did it up, and she was kind of considered the
That's Blanche. I think.
Blanche. Was she a little bit of the sluttier one?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes. You're the heroic slutty lover.
you're the heroic lover, Blanche.
Now, what Brad's the big one?
Yeah.
BR.
B. Arthur. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm the one that talks like this.
Yeah.
What a way to close out the show. Who'd
Yeah.
ever thought we would talk about that? Wow.
I thought I'd be more
Thank
of an
you for
Archie
being a friend.
bunker. What was Archie's wife?
Edith.
Edith.
Archie. Oh, shoot.
Oh,
Okay.
wait a minute. We didn't do 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks
hold
from now.
On February 18th at 7 o'clock,
Oh.
season 4, episode 4, our guest will be Matthew Van Fossen. Yes.
The Van
I love that guy's name.
He's
got
a great guy,
name.
man.
He's really cool. I actually met him at Muskegon last year. We talked to him.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he wasn't there. I
I think he'll
stood in
be there
line
again.
with him
I'm pretty sure
at
he should be
Legion's
there.
Con. Great dude. In
Yeah.
fact, Matt's from Ohio. Isn't
I
Matt
thought
from
he-
Ohio?
I thought he was from Michigan, but I could be wrong.
It's either Michigan or Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from around there. So, heck yeah, we'll have him on. Once again, Matt, appreciate you. We're looking forward to getting these figures in hand, and I think
can't
so are all the backers. I know I can't wait either. Well, of course you can't, Mike.
I know. Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
Okay.
bud.
All right,
Stay in the green room if you want to